Hello and welcome to the Eye, your English news bulletin. I'm Esther. These are the headlines. Union Home Minister Amit Shah will visit Telangana on September 17 to attend a public meeting in Nirmal district on Telangana Liberation Day. Two ferries have collided and capsized in the Brahmaputra river in Nimati Ghat of Assam, where around 100 people, including women and children, are feared missing. A committee comprising members of the All Assam Students Union and the state government will be formed to implement the clauses of the Assam Accord. Now for the news in details. Two ferries have collided and capsized in the Brahmaputra river in Nimati Ghat of Assam, where around 100 people, including women and children, are reportedly missing after the accident. The incident took place after the two ferries came from different directions and head-on collision occurred. Rescue teams have reached the location and rescue operations are underway. The Assam government officials have also reached the site to take stock of the situation. Let's have a look at the details with our correspondent Deep Saikia.
इस वक्त मैं मौजूद हूँ जिस जगह पे आज के दोपहर के समय में दो शिप फेस टू फेस इंसिडेंट हुआ, हादसा हुआ था। और इस वक्त मैं जिस जगह पे खड़ा हूँ इससे 100 मीटर जाके ही दोनों मीडियम साइज़ का शिप जो बोथ डायरेक्शन से आए हुए थे और दोनों के बीच में टक्कर हुआ था। उसके बाद 100 पैसेंजर अभी तक मिसिंग है बोल के सस्पेक्ट किया है। और उसके बाद जो इधर का सिचुएशन है, मैं कैमरा पर्सन को दिखाने के लिए रिक्वेस्ट करूँगा। NDRF, SDRF जितना भी अभी इनलैंड वाटर ट्रांसपोर्ट में जुड़े हुए जितना भी डिपार्टमेंट है ऑलरेडी उन लोग का काम चालू कर दिया है। लेकिन देखा जा रहा है कि रात की अंधेरे के वजह से कुछ ऑब्स्टेकल आ रहा है, लेकिन जितना हो सके डिस्ट्रिक्ट एडमिनिस्ट्रेशन अभी उन डूबे हुए जो पैसेंजर अभी तक एक्चुअल अमाउंट हम लोग हॉर्नबिल टीवी में अभी तक नहीं बोल पाएंगे क्योंकि सबकी अभी खोजबीन जारी है। अभी तक किसी ने एक्चुअल डाटा हम देने के लिए अभी समर्थ नहीं है। और अभी देख रहे हैं कि ये जिस जगह पे इंसिडेंट हुआ था वो इंसिडेंट ठीक इससे 50 मीटर जाके हुआ था और हैवी करंट था ब्रह्मपुत्र रिवर में। इसीलिए अभी जितना भी पैसेंजर्स है उसमें बच्चे थे, औरत थे, आदमी लोग थे, जितना भी थे वो जितना जैसे हो सके मैनेज करके जो बचे वो अभी हॉस्पिटलाइज हुआ है। और अभी तक 100 पैसेंजर की खोज छानबीन जारी है। 100 पैसेंजर्स के ऊपर इधर में सस्पेक्ट किया हुआ है, इधर में मिसिंग है बोल के मैं पूछना चाहूँगा। मेरे साथ जो है अभी माजुली के जो सिटीजन है जो अभी पूछना चाहूँगा आपको, आज जो हादसा हुआ बीचों बीच नदी के बीच में, एक्चुअली व्हाट वाज हैपनिंग, क्या हुआ था उस जगह पे?
एक्चुअली माजुली से एक डबल बोट आया था। इसी टाइम में एक सिंगल बोट भी इस निमाती घाट में चल रहा है। ये दोनों फेरी धक्का मारकर ऐसा हुआ।
अच्छा, कितना पैसेंजर्स अभी तक मिसिंग होने के अभी सस्पेक्ट है?
मिसिंग अराउंड 70। एक्चुअली जो डिपार्टमेंट है ना, ये डिपार्टमेंट का थोड़ा लैप्स है, इसीलिए तो ऐसा इंसिडेंट हुआ।
आप लोग को अभी तक जितना जानकारी मिला है, कितना पैसेंजर जो रिकवर किया है उन लोगों को कहाँ पहुँचा रहा है, अभी कहाँ है वो लोग?
जो रिकवर का आदमी है ना, ये जो अच्छा है, कंडीशन अच्छा है, ये घर चला रहा। जो सीरियस है ना, ये जोरहाट मेडिकल कॉलेज में है।
अच्छा, यही था जो पैसेंजर्स उस टाइम में दोनों शिप में मौजूद थे। अभी देख रहे हैं जो NDRF है, NDRF ने अपना काम चालू कर दिया है।
A committee comprising members of the All Assam Students Union and the state government will be formed to implement the clauses of the Assam Accord.
Atul Bora on 7 September said a committee comprising members of all Assam Students Union and the state government will be formed to implement the clauses of the Assam Accord. The decision was taken in a meeting was held on 7 September in the presence of Chief Minister Himanta Biswa Sarma. Bora said in the presence of CM Himanta Biswa Sarma, it was decided to form a committee comprising members of AASU and government to implement the clauses of the Assam Accord. AASU's chief advisor, Dr. Samujal Bhattacharya, said it has been decided to form a committee consisting of 3 state cabinet ministers and 5 All Assam Students Union members to find out the roadmap within 3 months. The Assam Accord A memorandum of settlement signed between representatives of the central government led by the then Prime Minister Rajiv Gandhi and the leaders of the Assam movement in New Delhi on August 15, 1985. The core point of the accord was the identification and deportation of illegal immigrants from Assam, for which the All Assam Students Union had been protesting since 1979.
3 crude bombs were hurled outside the house of BJP MP Arjun Singh in Bengal's North 24 Parganas district despite security presence on the night of September 7th. The BJP leader was not present at his home and was in Delhi at the time of the incident, but his family members were inside the house. The police have reached the spot and the CCTV footage is being scanned to identify the culprits and to ascertain the motive behind the attack. After the body of a Mizo girl serving with the Assam Rifles was found in the jungles of Shukovi, Dimapur on September 3rd, the Deputy Commissioner of Police Crime, Dimapur, informed Hornbill.TV that a special investigation team has been formed under ACP B, Preeti Malik, an IPS officer under the supervision of DCP Zone 2 to further probe and investigate the mysterious case. It may be mentioned that a Mizoram MLA on Monday also wrote to President Ram Nath Kovind seeking his intervention in the death of the 20-year-old Mizo woman. As per reports, 3 drug peddlers have been arrested in this connection, while the deceased is suspected to have died from a drug overdose, which was likely to be heroin, as syringes were also found at the site where the dead body was discovered. The Delhi police on Wednesday booked the head of the Afghan Solidarity Committee, Ahmed Zia Ghani, and other refugees for allegedly not wearing masks and for flouting COVID-19 norms during their protests outside the United Nations High Commissioner's for Refugees office at Vasant Vihar. The people said that no prior permission was sought by the Afghan refugees and asylum seekers camping outside the UNHCR office too. In an FIR lodged by Sub-Inspector Deepak Kumar Tanwar, dated August 31st, Tanwar stated that Ghani was holding a protest outside the UNHCR office. Further, he alleged that UNHCR and the Resident Welfare Association had also complained that the protesters were not wearing masks and they have violated the norms. However, no arrest has been made so far. Vasant Vihar Welfare Association had also filed a plea at the Delhi High Court seeking the removal of the foreign nationals who had gathered outside the UNHCR India office in Vasant Vihar and set up temporary structures and setting them at an appropriate camp. The petitioners, the Welfare Association and one Bhaskar Chatterjee, to the plea also sought to direct respondents to issue appropriate policy to deal with the nuisance being faced by the residents of Vasant Vihar as COVID-19 protocols were being violated. After the Taliban seized control of the war-ravaged Afghanistan on August 15, several Afghan refugees in India protested in front of the UNHCR office, demanding the release of support letters from the UN agency to migrate to other countries for better opportunities. India reported 37,875 fresh COVID-19 cases today, 21.3% higher than yesterday. The total active cases is 3,91,256.
875 fresh COVID-19 cases today, 21.3% higher than yesterday. The total active cases is 3,91,256. The government said so far 70.75 crore doses of vaccines have been administered across the country. The recovery rate is 97.48%. At least 39,114 people have recovered in the last 24 hours. The weekly positivity rate of 2.49% is below the 3% mark for the last 75 days. The daily positivity rate is reported to be 2.16% for the last 7 days. 369 deaths due to COVID have been reported in the last 24 hours. The third wave of COVID-19 is already upon Mumbai. The city's mayor has said, pointing to a sudden spike in cases. The third wave of COVID-19 is not coming, it is here, said Kishori Petnakar, adding that an announcement regarding the matter had already been made in Nagpur. In Kerala, a state reeling under a daily increase of nearly 30,000 COVID cases, the Nipah virus has emerged as another threat, prompting the state to further heighten the alertness of its health system. Experts say the Delta strain drove the second wave of COVID-19, infecting millions and leading to the deaths of thousands.
Gangavaram port in Visakhapatnam has logged multiple records in the handling of various cargo commodities, including discharging 26,885 metric ton of fertilizer within 24 hours using the mobile harbour cranes.
Gangavaram port in Visakhapatnam on Tuesday has logged multiple records in the handling of various cargo commodities, including discharging 26,885 metric ton of fertilizer within 24 hours using the mobile harbour cranes, said the press statement issued on Tuesday by the Port Authority. The port has also discharged 64,575 metric ton of urea from a vessel berthed at the port and clocked the fastest urea discharge rate in its history. The port also achieved another milestone by loading 23,500 metric ton of pig iron in 24 hours by using the vessel cranes, surpassing its earlier record of 16,600 metric ton in 24 hours. The statement also said that the port also achieved a record in iron ore pellets loading by loading 46,700 metric ton of the cargo using the ship loader in a day, surpassing its earlier record of 41,314 metric ton in a day. It has also transferred 6.08 lakh metric ton of coal cargo through conveyors to the RINL plant in August 2021. This is the ever highest achievement in the transfer of cargo since inception. Commenting on the development, G.J. Rao, Executive Director of the Gangavaram Port Limited, said, "We are extremely delighted at these achievements by our team. The record cargo discharge of various commodities yet again reaffirms our superior port infrastructure and operational efficiency. Gangavaram Port offers substantial economic benefits to Indian importers in terms of reduced ocean freight, highly efficient operations, advanced material handling and evacuation system, vast storage areas for all types of cargo, extensive ancillary facilities and faster turnaround time and delivery. We are extremely happy to see the trade-derived benefits of modern deep-water infrastructure at Gangavaram Port."
The Government of India and the National Socialist Council of Nagaland-led Nikki Sumi have decided to enter a ceasefire agreement with effect from September 8 to bring about a lasting peace in Nagaland with the involvement of the Naga people. According to a press release issued by the Ministry of Home Affairs, the ceasefire will be applicable for a period of 1 year with effect from September 8, 2021 to September 8, 2022. The ceasefire will be subject to adherence of the ceasefire ground rules to be mutually agreed and signed by the two sides. The ceasefire ground rules will be subject to mutual review and amendment with the involvement of both the parties, it stated. In the evening of 7 September, Haryana government extended the temporary suspension of mobile internet and SMS services in Karnal district to prevent any disturbance to the peace and public order.
As farmers gathered around a mini secretariat over August 28 Lathi charge incident continued their protests, the Haryana government on Tuesday evening extended the temporary suspension of mobile internet and SMS service in Karnal district to prevent any disturbance to the peace and public order. The order by the state government stated in exercise of powers conferred upon me by virtue of Rule 2 of Temporary Suspension of Telecom Services, Public Emergency or Public Safety Rules 2017, I, Home Secretary Haryana, do hereby order for the suspension of the mobile internet services 2G, 3G, 4G, CDMA, GPRS, all SMS services, including bulk SMS, excluding banking and mobile recharge, and all dongle services, etc., provided on mobile networks, except the voice calls in district Karnal from 12 midnight to 11:59 p.m. on Wednesday. Meanwhile, protesting farmers gathered around the mini secretariat in Karnal in support of the demands after the breakdown of talks with the district administration over the call for action against officials allegedly involved in the Lathi charge on August 28. They announced that they will continue their sit-in at the mini secretariat till the government talks to them over their demands and accepts them. Rakesh Tiket, BKU leader, said, "We have captured the gate and want to take some rest. It is up to the government now as to when they want to talk. We are sitting here peacefully till then."
Union Defence Minister Rajnath Singh and Union Road Transport and Highways Minister Nitin Gadkari will inaugurate emergency landing facility on Satta-Gadaf stretch of National Highway 925A in Rajasthan's Barmer on 9 September. First time that the national highway will be used for emergency landing of aircraft of the Indian Air Force. According to the Ministry of Road Transport and Highways, the National Highways Authority of India had developed a 3-kilometer section of the Satta-Gadaf stretch of National Highway 925A from kilometers 41 by 430 to kilometers 44 by 430 as an emergency landing facility for the Indian Air Force, which is part of the newly developed 2-lane paved shoulder of Gagaria, Bhakasar and Satta-Gadaf section, having a total length of 196.97 kilometers and costing of rupees 765.52 crores under Bharatmala Pariyojana. The official said that this project will improve connectivity between villages of Barmer and Jalore districts located on the international borders. The stretch is located in the western bordering area, which will facilitate the vigilance of the Indian Army as well as strengthen the basic infrastructure of the country. Apart from this emergency landing strip, 3 helipads have been constructed in Kundanpura, Singhania and Bhakasar villages in this project according to the requirements of the Air Force and Indian Army, which will be the basis for strengthening the Indian Army and security network on the western international border of the country. We have some fresh updates coming in about the 2 ferries that collided in the Brahmaputra. Let's have a look.
मिसिंग जने के हम हुई आसू कि ए गाड़ी अप्रोक्सीमेटली आगते बहुत डांगर डांगर नंबर हुई लेकिन इतना हमार हिसाब अप्रोक्सीमेटली 70 मान माने हो लगे 27 के अप्रोक्सीमेटली ताते बाइक आसे तो आमी जी नंबर पाई आसू कि अप्रोक्सीमेटली 25 टू 28 और अभी इतना लोग के हमें मिसिंग दिसारी आसी और वो जी बहुत किनी उसरा उसरी जगह गाँवत मानू बिला को लाई गई से बहुत किनी मानू और घर आसले एटू ताते भी हुमाई गई से तो एटू लिस्ट हमें बनाई आसू ताते जी आसे हमार कैप्साइज जोन बोट हो पड़ा आसे ताते हमें डाइवर्स दीसू लेकिन बहुत तेज करंट आसे एतिया लोग के ताते एटू होबो पारा ना और किबा वस्तु लगिबो एटा ट्रॉलर बेलाक लगा कथा आसे एटू हमें चेष्टा करी मेडिकल कॉलेज भर्ती आसे मेडिकल कॉलेजत हमार एटा लोग के एटा कंफर्म डेथ आसे आमी ताके जिंदाई रेस्क्यू करिछि ताके लगे लगे आमी यार पर एटा स्वाली आसले गेराकी आसले लगे लगे आमी पठाइছিলো ट्रीटमेंट और एटा ऑक्सीजन बट अनफॉर्चुनेटली शी कुड नॉट सर्वाइव एटू एटा कंफर्म डेथ आसे हमार আপোনালোকৰ মতে কিমান মিসিং হৈ আছে আপোনালোকৰ মতে अप्रोक्सीमेटली এতিয়া আমাৰ জন ফিগাৰ লেটেষ্ট আছে 25 अप्रोक्सीमेटली মিসিং হৈ আছে এটা উদ্ধাৰ অভিযান মাজত কিবা চলি আছে নেকি કોઈ উদ্ধাৰ অভিযান এতিয়ালৈকে চলি আছে আমি বেলেগ বেলেগ জায়গায় খবৰ লৈ আছো क्योंकि बहुत खिनी मानू लगे लगे ओलाई आहिसे लेकिन एटू घुसी गल पिछु एटू तो गम पुआई नहीं बेलक तो एटू कारणे हमार आही जाबो और बाकी ट्रॉलर कारणे आमी লাগি আছো और ताते रेस्क्यू ऑपरेशन জন আছে চলি আছে टोल फ्री নাম্বারটো আপুনি ইতিমধ্যে কৰিছে কি নাম্বাৰ আমাৰ আমি আইসি নিমাতি ইয়াতে বহাইছো এটো নম্বৰ মই আপোনাকে দি আছো এটো আমাৰ তাতে বহিব 8753936269 8753936269 एटू नंबर हो आईसी निमाती इबा होले मेसेज करि दियो ड्रॉप करि दियो अगर बिजी पाले तो और एटू नंबरत आपनी कबो पारे आपनार किबा प्रॉब्लम आसे एटू लिखाबो पारे ठीक আছে एटू एते सर एटू जेतु घटना होल आपनालोके की पाइसे किहर कारणे होबले पाले বুলি ভাবিছে ইয়াতে যি বস্তু আমি দেখিছো ইমান লোকে যি পাইছো কি দুটাই জন বোটম্যান মাজত আসলে এটু জন কমিউনিকেশন মিসকমিউনিকেশন হইছে और ए बोट तो जन মাজুলীৰ পৰা এই আসলে और एटू बोट किबा साइड দি আসলে एटू মাজত किबा খুন্দা কালে মোস্ট প্ৰবাবলি যিমান এটু আছে বাকি জন এটু ইনকোয়ারি হ'ব এটু ইনকোয়ারি পিছতে আমি গম পাম সার্চ অপারেশন আর কিমান সময়লৈকে চলিব ইয়াতে এটু চলিব গোটে ৰাতি চলিব কিবা মুখ্যমন্ত্ৰী আহি আছে মানুহ মিসিং হ'ল গেবলে মুখ্যমন্ত্ৰী আহি আছে আমি এতিয়া আমি গম পাইছো আমাৰ ডিআইজি সৰে আহি আছে और আমাৰ ফায়ার सर्विसेस डायरेक्टर सर जेन আছে এটু আহি আছে और বিমলপুৰৰ দায়িত্ব দিছে বলে মুখ্যমন্ত্ৰী এটু বি অন ৰুট আছে বিমলপুৰৰ সৰে আহি আছে তো এটু আহি ইয়াৰ ডিপ ড্ৰাইভাৰ কিমান আছে আপোনালোকৰ ইয়াতে ইয়াৰ নম্বৰ তো আমি এটু ক'ব নোৱাৰো লেকিন আমাৰ আছে ইন্ডিয়া
As we have just seen, many are still missing in this mishap and tragedy, and as the official has mentioned that this happened due to miscommunication between the 2 ferries. Stay for more updates. That's all for the eye. I'm Esther. Keep watching Hornbill TV.